Podcasters, we are in for a treat. We are talking to YANA, who actually sent me on a quest to my love for Substack. And you've been around, you know I'm in love with this platform. I don't know enough about it, so I had to bring on the expert that knows everything. Welcome to the Podcast Authority Architect. I'm Jen Dragonette, podcast strategist, founder of Dragonette Productions, and someone who built a top-ranked podcast by going against everything the industry told me to do. This show is for the thought leader, the change maker, who's done performing for strangers, building something by someone else's strategy, and ready to build a podcast that actually leaves an impact through real relationships, real growth, and a platform that supports the business and life you're building. Because you're not here to be a ripple. You're here to make a tsunami. Let's go. Welcome, Yana.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jen. So happy to be here. I'm so excited to,
So when I'm talking to podcasters, they're like, well, what is Substack? And I'm like, I can't tell you what it is, but you want it. Within a month, I had gotten a client because I went on the quest and I actually did the things. I started inaccurately, but I went on your quest, and that led me to this whole level of now it's pretty much I talk about it more than podcasting.
Yeah.
But I want to know, because a lot of people, when you look at it, it's like a newsletter app. And I don't think that's what it is. And I think that newsletter has this weird connotation in our vocabulary. So can you kind of tell us like how you ended up in Substack and why we shouldn't be afraid of quote unquote newsletters?
Yes, yes, of course. Yes, that's my favorite question. And you're right. Substack is actually, it's not just a newsletter. It's an all-in-one platform for me. And if you ask Substack themselves, they define themselves as the new media. But to many of us, it's just an all-in-one creator platform where you can do pretty much anything. So it has a built-in social media so you have, it's called Substack Notes. You can post short form content like written text, video, and also images as well, much like social media. But the huge difference is that you get followers, but you could also get subscribers directly out of your post. And Substack prioritizes that, so the algorithm works so that you gain more email subscribers and not so much followers. So there is a tiny orange button next to, like, on top of your every post on this social media, so that people, when they see your post and if they like it, they can immediately subscribe with their email addresses to you and to your newsletter. And that's huge. That's, for me, revolutionary because up to now we were struggling to gain subscribers and build our audiences on social media with like creating lead magnets like crazy, and content like crazy, like this grind, and always staying active, and you have to also engage, and it's a living hell, especially for someone like me. So I have my 9 to 5 job, which I don't want to leave. I want to do this on the side, and I don't want to. I literally, I can't spend the whole day on social media. So that's one thing you can do on Substack, and it's really huge. And it's huge because when you have an email list, that's actually an asset. For me, that's the only asset that we can build online as creators, because you own it. And on Substack, it's the same, you own it. Whereas on any other platform, you don't have any ownership of your audience. So like Facebook, Instagram, even LinkedIn with their newsletters, you don't have access to your audience. Actually, you cannot export your email addresses on your list. So at any time, any platform can decide that your account is breaching, I don't know what policy, and you lose everything in an instant, like that, and and that's huge. That's something that even if it happens, because let's face it, it can also happen on Substack. But if you back up your email list constantly, I mean, I do that every month, then you can reach out to those people, import them to any other platform, like, for example, Kit or Beehive, or any email automatic service that can send emails to multiple addresses. And that's a huge asset. What made me consider Substack was exactly this, actually. Before that, I was writing on Medium, and it was very hard to build email lists. And for me, it was very important. And what actually made me realize the importance of an email list is one guy that I met on Medium, and he was a fitness instructor. And we were talking in the comments because there's no community on Medium. On Substack, we have community. That's also something that we have. But on Medium, not so much. So we were discussing in the comments, and he was telling me about the importance of the email list and how actually he was a personal trainer in a fitness, and when COVID happened, he literally lost his job. But he was smart enough to ask for the email address of each one of his clients before that. So he had built it in time when he was doing those personal trainings. He has built a tiny email list, which when COVID happened, he reached out to them and offered to create personal trainings and give them like personalized plans in a digital format, and that saved him actually. That saved his business and his income. And it was my aha moment. I was like, okay, so I really need to have an email list if I want to build something meaningful online. And that's the moment where I joined Substack. And when I joined, I found out that we could do pretty much anything. It's not just I was with the idea that this is an email platform, which where you grow your audience, send them some emails, maybe monetize in the classic email marketing way. So you have to have products and so on, but it's much more than this actually. So yes, you have the emails and you can send a poll, like an email, to your email subscribers, but that email also gets published on the platform, and it also gets distributed on the social media, in the notes in the app, so that you also get discoverability. It goes in the algorithm, so new people can discover you, and a post can go viral, much like as a note can go viral, and you can grow like really fast. And the difference is that you grow your email lists really, really fast. I have a person in my community. We work together. It's Ellen Share. I don't know if you Jen, I don't know if you met her in the community, but yeah. So um, when she joined Substack, so she came to me and she said, Yana, I hate writing. What should I do? And I was like, you have to write. And, and so we discussed, and I gave her some guidance, and she started writing because she knew the importance of the email list, and she put some effort into this. And then one day she wrote a post. It was about mindset and the midlife transformation of women. And this post went viral, like on Substack. It's just the algorithm picked it up, and a lot of people started commenting, and then the internet picked it up, and so people started sharing it on social media, and also Google picked it up and started bringing her additional traffic, and it basically exploded. And she was, before that post, she was around, I don't know, 200 subscribers, and she built that audience for a few months already. And when that post happened, then she grew to subscribers in less than a month, like 12,000 engaged audience, people that really want to read her content. And now she's growing with about 100 new subscribers per day. And then that's it's snowballing basically. And then she came to me with a different problem. She said, okay, how do I monetize? I have the audience. What do I do? So that's the type of problem that you want to have on Substack. And she built 2 3 products and then launched to this audience, and she's now making a full-time income. This is something that uh, uh, I'm not sure, actually I'm confident that you cannot build on any other platform. And
I agree.
and yeah, and that's also and it also goes beyond that. So you could also upload videos, and Substack is integrated directly with YouTube and also LinkedIn. So your videos can be automatically published to those 2 platforms as well. And you can also run a podcast as well. And it's connected to Apple and also to Spotify automatically. And there are people who are running their podcasts on Substack as well. And the great thing and the big difference is that doing this, you have also the discoverability directly connected on this platform, and you also grow your audience from this platform. So you have a real asset that you can build business with, actually. Because from everything that I know, what we are building online, no matter what, it's not your products. Products are not your asset or not your services. It's not even your content. Like if you build a huge library of content, it's not, yes, it is kind of an asset, but it's not the real asset that other companies or investors are willing to pay for our subscribers, email subscribers.
Yeah.
And that's something you can build on Substack. And now we also have lives. So you could, much like on YouTube, so you could run lives and you can share your screen. You can run masterclasses live on Substack and then publish the recording to your audience. But so I saved the best for the last. The thing that I love most about Substack is that it has built-in paid subscriptions, but in a way so that you basically grow. So the algorithm optimizes for your growth of not only free subscribers, but also paid subscribers. Because the business model is built in a way that it works in favor of both of you and also in Substack. It's not like other social media platforms where monetization works. If you gain more money, if you earn more money, then the platform earns less. It's not the case. It's it works in both. It's a win-win, actually, the business model, and that's something that I literally fell in love with. I come from the telecom industry. I am in product, and I'm building the products and the services for consumers and businesses. So my background is marketing and product, but also sales and digital sales. And I know a lot about subscriptions and how to sell them. And honestly, I've seen a lot of subscriptions online for services. But honestly, when I saw the customer journey on Substack, I instantly recognized the patterns of the best-selling subscription. So these guys, they really know how to sell subscription, paid subscription. It's optimized and it's working for you to grow. And then we also have recommendations. You could build a real community on Substack. I think also that's the most powerful way to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Substack is like the unicorn, I feel like right now. And I don't know if
Yeah.
it'll always be the unicorn or if I know it's been around for a while, but I feel like now everyone's kind of like looking at this piece of like, how do we go deeper?
Yeah.
So as you can hear, it isn't just a newsletter and you're kind of defining it differently. And that paid subscription thing, it's so different. So I turned one on because you pushed me to turn mine on. Granted,
Mhm.
they didn't necessarily buy the paid subscription.
Yeah.
Instead, they just chose to buy the one-on-one package with me, which I think was really cool. But I did this with one of my clients who's in burnout right now. She is overwhelmed, but she's been in business for a long time. She has master classes she's done, old courses she's done that are still valid, but we're not currently offering them. So I had her turn her paid subscription on and I'm repurposing. So for those of you that are like, now I have to write. No, we can repurpose. You're a podcaster. You've been around for a while. You have a lot of IP that we can pull from
Mm.
and use over there. But we're not this is the other area that I want to like bridge into because you're really good at this. We're not just using AI to like repurpose and put out what it's decided to create.
Yeah.
Because we had
Yeah.
a long conversation about this. And it was part of your quest. Your quest is really good at helping like how do you use AI in the right way? Because this is another platform. This has a lot of things. So if you're
Yeah.
not somebody who wants to write, there are other ways to use this. And I love the live feature because once you go live there, you can stream it over to YouTube. You don't have to edit it. It can be a raw interview and then you can edit on the audio podcast. Like,
Yeah.
there's ways to do things in the back end. But when it comes to using this platform for somebody who's already overwhelmed because they're burnt out, spinning over on social media, like tell us a little bit about your AI thing. And again, get in her quest or the challenges. They've changed my life. This is how I got my start, got some clients, how my clients are getting paid subscribers. Get in Yana space. Do not pass go. The buttons in the show notes. Click it. Go. Get in.
Yes, yes. So actually, that's it. That's why and how I got also into Substack. My original idea was to go really deep with AI and automations because that's my passion. That's something that I invested a lot in my. I'm a self-taught person in AI and automations. I really love technology. And I'm using ChatGPT ever since it was launched, actually. But originally, I started writing about it on Medium, but then Medium management decided to um, go really against AI in all possible ways. So they changed their policies. Also, the narrative became really negative again, like about AI. So I naturally, like many other writers and technical writers, and also writers who are specified in AI, we decided to move to Substack. Like it was a wave of of a migration from Medium to Substack because of that. I immediately started on Substack, and then it felt like home because of those subscriptions. Because it was a business model I already understood very well. So it felt really easy for me to come up with a strategy and a model that I thought it would work. And it was all about AI and also automations, about how I use AI, about what's the right way to use AI, about how most people use AI and why we have so much negative opinions and such a polarity on the internet and all of that stuff. And I also shared my journey about how I grow on Substack. And then it started growing. It started growing basically, and then people started asking me, "Okay, how you do that? How you do that?" And I was like, "Okay, so obviously there are a lot of people who can't really figure out Substack because it's a business. It's not just me writing online, much like Medium, but it's a business. It's a totally different thing. And also there is a different type of responsibility that you have when you publish something on Substack because it goes directly to the inboxes of your subscribers. So it feels very personal. And also, especially if you run a paid subscription, it has to be something that those people pay you for. So it's not just, this is how I feel today. I'm going to share this over the internet on social media or Medium or blog, and let's hope somebody subscribes. It's not like that. It's intentional and strategic, and it has to be really part of a bigger picture, one that your subscribers understand and are willing to pay for. And so I got so many questions, and then I got an insight. I said, okay, so my Substack also has to help other Substackers create their Substack because I already knew it. So I have more than 15 years of experience in this, and I actually saw a opportunity to monetize my entire knowledge from my 9 to 5 job and my experience. And that's how the idea of the Substack Quest was born. So I like downloaded everything that I know into this what I call Substack Quest. I also mapped all of the mistakes that I have seen on the platform that most people do. One, for example, is that they start build an audience without having any idea how do they monetize this audience. That's really huge. And so I covered this in the quest, and I called it a quest because it's a step by step the right way that you should approach a platform like Substack. It's actually the same way you should approach building a new business. It's applicable. It can be adapted to any other business, and it always starts with a product. But building that product starts with insights from the audience. It's not product centric, it's audience centric, and those two things have to be, you have to figure that out before you create any piece of content. I always get some questions, Yana, what should I write about? What should be my topics? So this is my passion. I think about those topics, this and that topic. And then I ask, okay, what do you want to sell? And then I get the silence. you know and that's and that's a huge struggle, and that's the problem that the Substack quest solves for people. And it worked for you, and I'm really happy that it's great. That's the type of feedback I also started getting, and it makes me really happy. And I infuse it also with some AI tools that I believe that solve the biggest problem, and that is, okay, there is discoverability on Substack, so you can write notes, so you get subscribers, but I write notes and nothing happens. Now, it's a different type of writing. So I went really deep into notes and analyzing, because every platform has its own specifics. So I analyzed what's going viral and what's bringing a lot of subscribers to people, and collected a set of data and created my first custom GPT, which is called the Viral Notes Writer. It's also all of those things are available for my paid subscribers on Substack. And that's the most famous GPT on the Substack right now. So a lot of people are talking about it. It's writing different types. Like I think right now there are five ways you can write notes, like five approaches of writing notes. So the viral notes, the notes that are getting you subscribers, the storytelling notes, and the conversational notes, and the variations between them. You could just simply start with giving your idea, who you are, a little bit of insight about your audience and what you're selling, and it's going to generate you a set of notes that you can schedule on Substack for a week or even a month if you like. And people are growing. So the most dedicated and committed people from my audience, because you have to do the work. It's not just having the tool, you have to actually use it. They grew like with hundreds of subscribers out of those notes. And I have people who published notes directly without any editing, and getting hundreds of subscribers out of such notes. And after this GPT, I also have a custom GPT for long form writing, and also one for call to actions and for headlines, because I think call to actions are one of the biggest pains of people.
Goes back to selling.
Yes, yes.
What are you
yes.
selling? Blank.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not telling. And then it's really interesting. So people come to me and say, okay, how do I approach Substack? And I say, okay, how do you monetize? Oh, I'm not about monetization. I just want to share my thoughts and so on. And I say, okay, then it's a hobby. It's not a business, right? Oh, I want to make money out of it. So okay, then what are you selling? Oh, can I just write and I get money from people? I said, no, you can't. I mean, who is giving you the money for free? They have to have something in return, right? That's economics, actually. That's actually, I think, the biggest struggle of the majority of the creators, not just writers on Substack, but I see this all of the time. It's a skill that I have and I own because of my 9 to 5 job, because I've run a digital agency and selling like with paid advertising, but also with content. We've been creating content for businesses as well and directly to consumers. And but I think the majority, the biggest set of my skills comes from sitting on the boardroom with huge companies, negotiating deals for millions, sometimes for sometimes for hundreds of thousands of euros, because I'm in Europe. And there are ways that you could actually sell without even saying you buy this or buy now or click here to buy my product or buy my offer. You don't have to convince people. You don't have to bend yourself or get into that feeling of discomfort. um, and that happens when you have crystal clear vision about what is the problem that you are solving to your ideal potential customer, and how are you solving it differently. And that's the core of my quest as well, and that's the way that you sell without actually selling. So you just have a conversation with that person and see if you can help them or not. And if yes, then the conversation about money happens naturally. It's obvious that it's not free. So you don't have to actually convince or influence or solve objections or anything like that. In the quest, I have covered all of the tactics and the ways and the strategies to build that product, and then also to create the right content so that you build trust, so that your offers are selling themselves. Actually, it's I can also share um about, maybe I can give something tangible to your audience now.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
that would
Before
be,
you get something tangible, I
yeah,
do want to
yeah,
remind people, because I came in with the same issue that I hear a lot of my people saying is like,
yeah,
I've tried that. I am crystal clear. I've done foundations. I've paid all the coaches. I'm so clear. And I want the listener to know I had those same objections. But once I spent time with you on Substack and how you gave things and how you set up the challenges with the accountability and then going through the quests, like I'm still in the beginning of the quest. Like I haven't gone all the way through because what happened is I went through your quest. The way that you presented was different than the 7 other coaches that I've tried to have help me with the foundation, because it's always easier to have someone else find your foundation than your own, just saying that right out loud. But I actually ended up taking what I've learned from the quest and I made like a 37-page blueprint of my business that now I have that I'm putting into a lot of the AI. So when I use your
Yeah.
note scheduler, I plug in this here. So you know about my business, my language, my person, my offers, everything. Like I got so crystal clear and I'm not even all the way through the quest. So
Yeah.
I know that's an objection because I get it all the time from people. And I had that objection before I hit purchase on the quest. So before you give the tangible, I want to say you have to find the right person to set you up on the right thing. And I do think that Substack is another place where you can kind of play a little bit, but you can also use all those beautiful things, like I was saying from before. It's not complicated.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to make sure, like, we're giving you a lot of information. This isn't as complicated and overwhelming as if you were trying to beat the algorithms on the other platform. So I just want to give you that piece before you give the tangible thing where people are like, click, I'm going somewhere else. No, it's easier than it sounds. And the way that it's just there's so much this platform can do, which is why we're both so excited about it.
Yes. Yes. Yes, it is like that. It is definitely like that. Yeah. So, um, the one thing that most people struggle, because I always ask people to come up with, when I work one on one with clients who want to get faster, take the shortcut to implementing their Substack, and don't have to figure it out by themselves. That's also the biggest struggle in the beginning, I would say, and that is, how am I different? There's so many others who do the same that I want to do. So how am I different? And if you think about it, actually the big part, if not all of the greatest companies in the world right now, they started doing something which was already there. They just did it differently. And there are 3 types of different things that you want to do out of something similar that can make your product or service unique. And that is, if you can make it cheaper, and if you can make it faster, or if you can make it with less effort, like easier to implement, or a combination of those. And if you think about it, like Revolut, for example, they are about to a new bank as well. They both, I think, are competing to become the first global bank with tens of millions of customers already. They didn't do anything new. It's still a banking service. They just went deep into customer experience and made it convenient, so convenient that it already like felt addictive. So that's the difference that you want to create. That's differentiation. It's always in the user experience, and I'm obsessed with customer experience as well because of that reason. Because I understand that, and I know this from my 9 to 5 job as well. And also Google, for example. So Google was not the first search engine. They just oversimplified the first screen of the user. That's how they became huge. So 3 things. Those are the only 3 things that you want to think about. So never say I am just simply better. That's comparison. You have to avoid comparison. You just show people how they can achieve something faster, cheaper, or easier, or a combination of those 3. And that's the core of the differentiation that you can create. And then once your product is done, um, then another thing that I wanted to share as well is when it comes to selling. So don't talk like this barrier, that people have. So I don't want to sell. I don't want to sell. So don't sell. Just talk about your product. If you're confident enough, if you build something that you really believe in, that you have, and that can happen only if you can test it on yourself and achieve the result that you want to achieve for your clients. So walk the talk, like walk in your clients' shoes. If you do that, then you will be confident. You will have results that you can share and facts and proof that you can share to back up your offering and to also give you some confidence to talk about it. And you don't have to say at all like buy this. You just have to show them where they have to go to to actually pay. That's the thing. And objections as well. I think objections are not real. They're just a way that people like they're excuses basically. When people don't trust you, they come up with excuses like I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I'm not ready, and things like that. So I think people are scared from objections and also from refusal of a potential customer, and that's okay. I mean, that's entirely okay. Not everybody will be ready to buy your offer, and when you have an email list, also some not big, not at all actually, some few people, if you do sales right in the way that I have in my Substack quest, then some people will unsubscribe, but they will not be so much. And you actually want them to unsubscribe. You want them to leave, because if they get irritated from you offering your stuff and your ways to help them move forward, then they will never buy from you anyways.
I know. Before we go on, I want to pause here because I don't want to overwhelm you. YANA offers so much gold in here that we have to do part 2. In part 2, we're really going into how to set up Substack, how to make it make money, and how it can be easy without having to burn yourself out, creating content from scratch, and all the things. So come back next week for part 2, because part 2 is where it gets really juicy.